Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Champion Chat for 2019. And my screen is frozen here, so I'm not sure if you can see me exactly. But tonight we're going to be talking to the 2019 Grade B MX2 National Irish Champion, Conor Mullan. Conor's a young man that I got to talk to a few times throughout the year because of his strong performances that he was putting in throughout the National Irish Championship. So let's bring Conor. Before we continue on, a couple of people I'd like to thank as well tonight. Tony Hudziak, who has taken the pictures here, and also Ian Cairns. I think we have some of the Dirt Bike Ireland pictures along here as well. And of course, this is brought to you by Before MX, Motoklik, and Factory Fin. So without further waiting, let's bring Conor onto the show here now. Conor, welcome. How does it feel to be the 2019 Grade B MX2 National Irish Champion?
No, it's a good feeling. It doesn't just happen overnight. A lot of work goes into it behind the scenes and stuff. So, no, it was good to get it done. It's nearly September time last year now, so it's a long way. It's a long way since now, but no, it's good, and it's just a bit of a pity situation at the minute, but we're getting through it as best we can, really.
Yeah, brilliant. Can you hear me okay here? Because we're just having an issue with the camera, I think.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, we'll keep it going then. So anyway, I'm just going to bring up a couple of pictures here from throughout the season. So do you want to tell us a little bit about your riding this year, how it was for you? Did you think there was any standout rides for you during the season?
Yeah, the first round was at Vernamount in Cork, and I liked that track, so I went there. It was a good feeling, and was able to win all 3 races that day. And then I come out of there sort of with an idea, like, right, we can push for the championship now. We've established ourselves with points lead and stuff like that. So no, it was good. And then we moved on to, I think it was Claudy. Claudy, and I had a few bike issues and stuff in the first race and in practice, so sort of held me back a wee bit, but struggled that day in Robinson's. But then we started to get going into the summer, and we went to a few of the other tracks, Desert Martin and Doon, started to click off a few wins. So it all sort of led to Doon then for the last round, and just had to be smart and bring it home, really.
Yeah, I think you kind of had things not wrapped up, but you're definitely in a good position early on in the season. So what was it like going into the final round and Doon for you then? Did you feel much pressure on your shoulders, or how was it going into that final round?
The last round I came in and I had a big lead. I think I needed to finish the first race or two or something like that. So I wasn't really feeling much pressure, but then at the back of your mind, you don't want to mess up. You're thinking, just keep it smart, keep her on 2 wheels and all that there. So no, it was pretty good. I didn't really feel a whole lot of pressure coming in because, I'd done the work throughout the season. So
yeah, it makes life a bit easier, all right, when you've got that confidence coming in that you're in a good place physically and everything that way, and that you put in some good rides throughout the season. So I forgot to mention at the start of the video as well, of course, if you have any questions or comments for Conor, you can write them into the comments underneath this broadcast. So we have a few here from a couple of friends, I think, or maybe supporters, Conor. So Aaron Lappin here saying, let's go. You get a big thumbs up from Ryan Mahoney, who's an up-and-comer as well in Irish motocross. Definitely, we might see if we can talk to him at some stage as well. Aaron Lappin again. A question here from Killian Hennessy. Any riding tips from a guy with such skill? So for anybody who's kind of starting out in motocross or anything, would you have any recommendations for them on how to become a better rider?
I don't know if he's joking or not, but I don't know. Just have fun anyway, and if you're not having fun, there's no point doing it. Just, I don't know. Yeah. I would not really know much.
Well, what you're saying about having fun rings true, because I was lucky enough to do a video interview with Stefan Everts at the CCM Racing Weekend in last November, and the same question was put to him. What does it take to be a champion, or what does it take when you're riding the bike? And he said to make sure that you're always having fun. That's really the most important thing. So you're speaking the exact same as what the 10-time greatest of all time world champion is saying as well. So
I said this: if you're not having fun, there's not much point doing it. And also, you get a lot of people who are pushed into it and like forced to doing what they're doing. But I just think if you don't want to do it yourself, there's not much, the will that needs to come from within you, I think.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so the same as what we said with Sean Laverty the other day, you don't become a champion in your first year on your first day on the bike. So we have a picture here going all the way back to you as a young fella with your dad and your sister, I think. So what was the start of motocross like for you? When did this journey begin?
I think my first bike I got when I was 3. It was that wee bike there, the wee Honda 50. See, my dad used to be in the bikes, but he told me he was never that good at it. So we just started and took it easy and messed about. And then we got up. My second bike was a wee Honda 53 speed, the semi-automatic. And I
Right.
started to fly around the fields and went to Brian Steele's house nearly every Saturday. And me and Morgan, his son, we used to mess about in the bikes. And then it never really got that serious in the youth, maybe until like I never really took it that serious in like 65s and stuff like that. And then we started to move up on the 85s and started to progress a wee bit, and I started to get some decent results. So then, we never really like we're winning week in, week out, we were just going and having a bit of fun at the races. And then towards the end of the big wheels and then on to the 125. The 125, that was my first Irish championship when I was on the 125 class, and I won the Ulster and the Irish that year. And then I started to just progress. I started to take it a bit more serious and get into the training side of things, and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, and I think it's a point well made. Is maybe not to push riders too hard at a young age, because you see it a bit where they get burnt out of it. Then when they become a teenager,
Definitely.
then they kind of have enough of it, and there's no fun in it for them. So is that something you'd recommend as well for any maybe moto dads out there? Just take it easy a bit those first few years.
No, 100%. Yeah, it's first few years. I think it's all about having fun and just making friends and things like that, and just going to the races with your family and enjoying yourself. And then what about my age now is when there's time enough to get serious about it.
Yeah, definitely. Just a comment here from Aaron Lappin then as well. So do you have any pre-moto rituals? I don't know if these lads are pulling your leg or not, but is there anything you do before a race?
No. I might put on my right sock and my right boot and my right glove first or something like that. Just pretty superstitious that way, but that's about it. No rituals.
All right, fair enough. Now, when you look from the outside in at you today, Conor, you see you're backing from Hitach KTM fueled by Milwaukee. You see the race wins that you've been getting. You see the championship this year, and you think this is a lad that kind of has it all going for him. But it wasn't an easy road for you growing up either. And I got to learn recently that you had quite a bad accident as a young fella, not off a motorbike, but in a different type of accident. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that time in your life as well?
Yeah, that was maybe 6 years ago now. I was out actually cycling one evening just with my dad, just cruising about, just 5 minutes up the road there. And it came to like a road, and I went to cross, and a car actually clipped me from, on my left-hand side when I was crossing the road. So it knocked me down quite badly, and I was in quite a bad shape for a while. Spent time in intensive care and stuff like that, and a lot of like internal damage, and my kidney, spleen, things like that, and broken ribs. It was quite a bad time, really. But no, that was maybe 6 years ago now. So thank God I'm well healed from that, and I'm 100% again.
Yeah, and I was speaking to your dad about it, and he said that you were lucky to come through it all. So, what was the recovery like for you then after that accident? After you got hit by a car on your bicycle?
Yeah, the recovery was pretty long. See, with my like internal damage, they were telling me, to walk and to like be sort of more mobile, so the blood was moving around me, a lot more. But then with my broken ribs, it was quite difficult to do that. So it was sort of like stuck between the two. I was trying to get out as much exercise as possible, but then I was in pain doing it.
Yeah.
That took maybe, I think the recovery, they told me not to ride the bike anyway for at least 6 months, but we managed to, after, was it 3 or 4 months, started to ride around the house and sort of, get the bug going again, really.
So when you're injured off the bike, was that all you could think about, or were you too sore? Like when did the thoughts start coming back into your mind? Okay, I'd like to get back on the bike now after this.
Maybe the first 2 months when I got home from hospital, I spent 2 weeks in hospital, and then when I got home, the last thing I was thinking about was motorbikes. I was just in that much pain.
Yeah.
Maybe after 2-3 months, I started to go, right, I'd be fit for a motorbike, maybe just to ride around the field and get back into it.
Yeah.
So when I got new helmet, new chest guard, new everything for getting back in the bike.
Yeah, well, that was a nice way to get back on the horse after that anyway. But
Yeah.
it's great that you got through that time in your life. And I don't know if this picture is from before or after it, but it's a similar topic that we had with Jake Sheridan there a couple of days ago. And that's the Coupe de 11 year. So this Cup of the Future, that's a sort of a youth motocross of nations event that takes place over in Belgium, I think it is. And you took part in this as well. You're maybe not as easily recognizable in this picture, but you're in the middle there in the yellow and blue Fox gear. So do you want to tell us a little bit about how that event has been for you and what was it like to do in the past?
Yeah, I've been selected twice now, and both in the 85 class, 2 years in a row. So that first year we went in small wheels, so everybody was riding the big wheels. So we're sort of playing catch up the whole time. We're a
Right.
bit out of our depth, but then went back the next year, and it was a good event. And Mick McGinn, he put everything on, and Jimmy Jones and all. So they picked a good team, and we went over, and it was great. But over there, it's just a completely different level. But it was good to sort of see where in the 85s, who was the top runner. It was actually Brian Moreau. He was doing the winning at it
Okay, yeah.
over there. So
Yeah.
when I say we were racing, we were on the same track with him. We weren't doing much racing with him, but
Yeah.
it was a good experience, definitely, and I'd love to do it again if ever got the opportunity to.
Yeah. Well, you're only 17 now still, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah,
And you can do this
Still
event up
17.
until you're 21, and you're a little bit faster now than I think you were back then as well. So is it something you'd like to get the opportunity to do again in the future?
No, absolutely. It's really it's an honor, like riding for your country and stuff like that. So if you ever got the chance to go back and do it again, I'd do it 100%.
Yeah, it'd be brilliant to see you be on the team in the future again to get the chance to do it. So that's been a great experience for you to be part of that. But being 17, you're in your last year of school. You're a regular young man like anybody else growing up, and you have to do regular young man things. So do you want to tell us a bit about your school life then as well? You've sent on this picture here with you and a couple of pals. Where do you go to school, and what's the year been like for you with coronavirus and everything messing up the GCSEs and everything that way?
Yeah, so this is my last year in school. Well, it was going to be my last year, my last year of exams. I was doing my A levels, and it was difficult to fit everything in, with the racing and the training and the school work and everything like that. But the virus sort of came in, and I'm getting I think it's my predicted grades or something like that now. So the school haven't got to worry about it too much anymore, which is a bit of a godsend. But
Yeah.
no, it was difficult to fit everything in, but I'm glad I stuck at it and I'm through it now, so it's good.
Yeah, and you're saying there that you don't actually have to sit any exams now, is it? You get
No,
graded
that's
off
me.
your
Yeah,
previous assessments. So has that worked out in your
yeah, that's
favor,
my
or do you think
the
you would have?
exams.
Uh,
No,
has
it
that worked out
definitely
in your
worked out in my
favor now?
favor.
Yeah.
um, yeah, no, my exams were meant to be in August, but they're cancelled now. So my predicted grades have definitely worked out in my favor,
Yeah.
100%.
And how has it been then with school and your racing? Because you race in the UK a bit as well and stuff that way. So did the school work with you a little bit so that you could get your time to practice and train for the racing that you do, or did you have to work through it just like any other school kid, or what was it like for you?
Yeah, a few years back, the school actually let me out for the PE session. I was able to go on. There was a local track that I was able to go ride instead of PE. So they worked with me that way, and they were really flexible. Say like, if I was going to catch a boat on Friday, they would be giving me the work beforehand, and I had to just catch up with it. But we stayed on top of it pretty well. But then I think it was 6 or 7 weekends in a year we were going over, and maybe 3 or 4 during the school term. So it wasn't too bad. Like I was able to fit both of them in pretty dead on.
Well, fair play to the school, because that sounds like a brilliant PE to get out and go and do motocross. All we were
Yeah.
doing was running around the field and getting leather with old soccer balls and things like that. So I would have much preferred to do motocross for PE.
Oh, they
But
were
fair
good
play
to me.
for giving you that freedom to do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, school, yeah, your final year of school this year, coronavirus has messed everything up. The year is pretty much a write-off anyway. But you had made some good preparations coming into it. So what does the future look like for you then, Conor? What would you like to achieve in motocross, at the end of this year, next year? What do you want to do?
Well, this year we're planning on we're up into the A's now, obviously. So I was planning to, have a good performance in that, and then also This is another youth year. I was able to ride in England, so we were going to do the MX Nationals series this year, but obviously that's all gone by the wayside now. So next year I would be doing adult racing mainly, and again over here in the Ulster and Irish expert classes, and then over in England, I'd like to try some races over there. It'd be tough going, but definitely that's where I need to be. I think to improve is over the other side of the water. So that would be my plans.
Yeah, I think Jake Sheridan as well was saying about the age, that how it's going to work out now with MX2, and you're in the same boat as well with the youth racing in England. I mean, it's nobody's fault that this year got wrote off, so maybe they might make some concession for riders that they get an extra year in if they missed out on this year.
Maybe.
There. So you're a member of the KTM, Hitach KTM, fueled by Milwaukee race team. Does that bring any pressure to you on a race day? Do you feel wearing that jersey and those graphics going around on the bike? Do you think that carries any more pressure on your shoulders for the day, or do you think it's just good support to have for racing?
To be honest, no, it doesn't really add much pressure to how I'm feeling on a race day. But I would tend to be quite hard on myself, so I wouldn't really need other people to be putting pressure on. Like my dad, he's complete opposite. And Roger McGee, the team owner, like he doesn't. He's okay. If I'm first or last, like he doesn't mind.
Yeah.
So no, I don't feel like a whole lot of pressure. It's brilliant to be able to get access to what I'm getting at the minute. It's brilliant. Like it's a really big help.
Yeah.
So I
I'm
don't
sure
really feel the pressure, but it's more just sort of grateful to have the tools to do it.
Yeah, definitely. And look, I know you may say there that maybe Roger doesn't mind if you're coming first or last, but it definitely helps to win a championship and be able to put out that #1 plate on a bike. I don't think anybody's going to turn that down too much.
No, it's good now. I think it's 4 or 5 championships I've had with the team, so it's been good. I've been a long time member of the team, so no, it's brilliant.
No, definitely fair play for the support and that you get it to go racing. So another thing as well is you have been very good to help me in testing the Motoklik product for suspension setup. We've been out a few days. So would you mind just telling people a little bit about your thoughts on the product and using it in the past and what you think of it?
Yeah, well, I think you've helped me in a way too, Jens. But no, I think we've tested 2 or 3 days of the Motoklik, and it's excellent, really. Like it's what you would call it, an automated suspension setup? Is that
that's the objective? Yeah, that's where we're trying to get to with it, definitely. Yeah. So
no, it's brilliant. It sort of takes the guessing out of suspension setup, which I struggle with in the past. Like myself and Dad, like we wouldn't be getting too adventurous with the clickers or anything like that. But since working with you and the Motoklik, we found that there's no guessing in it. So if I was feeling a section of the track where I wasn't, say totally happy with, it's so easy to come back and go into the app and see what's going on and the stroke on the bike, the front and the rear, and where it's bottoming and stuff like that, and then make an adjustment based on that instead of just going off a feel. So I think it is going to be a really useful tool in the future for a lot of people.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thanks very much for saying that, Conor. And as I said in a couple of the other videos as well, look, we really want to work with more riders in Ireland here as soon as we get the chance when coronavirus is gone. And the way you can really help us out at the minute is if you're interested in using this product, to go onto the website www.motoklik.com, motoklik.com. There'll be a little pop-up that comes up there after a few seconds. You can put your email address in there, and then that lets me know that you're interested in this and doing something with it in the future. Conor, we're going to get to the end of our conversation here now a little bit, and I know that you wanted to thank some of the people who have supported you throughout the last year. So this is your list of sponsors, so if you want to have the last word here a bit.
Yeah, obviously Hitach KTM, fueled by Milwaukee team, and Roger McGee. Like, couldn't really go racing the way I do without them. And there's a lot of we personal sponsors there, local businesses. I just want to say thanks to all you guys for helping me out in any way, shape or form. It's much appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely, and I echo that. I mean, it's the support that these riders get that really make it possible to take the racing as seriously as they do in an amateur sport here in Ireland. And it really wouldn't be possible without the people putting the hard earned behind it. So thank you very much for backing the likes of Conor and the other riders that are rolling up to the gate on race day. All right, Conor, we're at the end of our conversation here now. There was a couple of other comments that came in here as well, but I think Aaron Lappin is after having his day in the sun, so we'll leave him alone for the minute. And maybe we'll catch him again at some stage in the future. But Conor, thanks
get Aaron Lappin on. He's next on the live stream.
He's calling you a blagger here now, so we'll put him on. We'll put the spotlight on him and see how well he does in front of us. All right.
Yeah, he's next.
Okay, that's brilliant. All right, Conor, thank you very much for coming on to talk with this evening.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, brilliant. I think people have been enjoying the live broadcast, and thanks everybody for coming in and watching and putting your comments in and everything. So as always, this is brought to you by beforemx.com, the classified ads website for everything off-road. Motoklik.com, the product for automated suspension setup, as well as your lap timing and section timing and suspension analysis and all of that, and factory fins as well. So these are the little helmet fins. Bring back that 90s style. You can have a modern twist on it now. And you can find out more about that on Instagram. Conor, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on again, and best of luck for next year, at the end of this year, and continued bright future in the sport.
Oh, thanks very much. It's good to be on.
All right. Bye, everyone. Catch you in another couple of days again. Bye-bye.
All right, bye now.